Welcome back, everybody. My name's APrater54, aka Adam, coach of the Chesney Park Slowpokes, and today I bring you the draft analysis for LET Ultra Ball Division. I believe this is season 11 or 12, I can't remember. But this season we have to draft exactly 10 Pokemon, and we get a 1,000 point budget as well as a 300 point Terra budget. This is an item clause league, and there were some Terra bans, including all of the Ogre Pawns, Annihilate, Baxcalibur, Blaziken, Chiyu, Darkrai, Deoxys Speed, Dragapult, Dragonite, Espathra, Garchomp, Gouging Fire, Greninja, Iron Bundle, Iron Valiant, Kyurem, both Latios and Latias, as well as Palafin, Regieleki, Roaring Moon, Sneasler, Spectre, Terapagos for obvious reasons, Ursaluna Blood Moon, and both Urshifus and Volcarona. So all of that can't Terra, but there is still quite a bit of broken mons that can, and a few things that I believe slip through the cracks. But all in all, let me grab a drink and open that up real quick because this is going to be a long session. It's going to be a thrill ride this season. Not everybody has the most stable draft because we are doing tiers. Everybody, the entire league has crazy teams. There are some that are like full on weather. There's some terrain teams. There's some modified prankster. There's quite a bit in the season, and I look forward to combating it all. That, and I'm amongst friends like Godbear, Wreck-It Mike, Incog M, Quincy, quite a few people I know and respect and have always given me pleasurable battles, and I look forward to this season. But without further ado, let's hop on into the first Pokemon. I was picked number 8 out of 12. Alright. For pick number 1 and 180 points, I decided to pick the best spinner in the game in Great Tusk. It got a few buffs with the DLC, which is absolutely amazing. And Supercell Slam, and I believe it gained Throat Trap and Temper Flare, which is absolutely amazing. Proper Fire Stab for this thing is just chef's kiss. But not only is it great at hazard removal, great at causing damage, it just is incredibly bulky on the defensive side HP wise. You can even EV it to be assault vested and tank hit, as well as be a killer while using an AV. This allows me to have a manual sun package, and I look forward to using it. And yeah, Great Tusk, phenomenal Pokemon. Base 87 speed is nothing to underestimate, especially with how hard this mon hits. And I look forward to using this thing again. Last time I had it, I had a pure sun team, and I just could not get it to function properly. So, when I drafted this, people thought, okay, so is he going sun? Well, they're going to have to find out because this team is rather interesting. But first overall great pick, Great Tusk, overall great pick, and Daddy's back. For the people that call it that, you know exactly why. It's Daddy Tusk. But anyways, let's hop on into the next mon. I look forward to using this, and I hope you enjoy mon number 2. Alright, you know how I mentioned at the beginning they let a few mons slip through the cracks? Well, my pick number 2 for 160 points is Necrozma. They allowed this thing to Terra. So this is my first Terra Captain, burning through 160 of my 300 points, but it's well worth it. This is my second rocker. This gets access to Trick Room, Dragon Dance, gets access even to Meteor Beam, a Photon Geyser, which ignores Unaware, which is absolutely amazing. And this even gets access to Calm Mind, Iron Defense, I believe. I'd have to double check, but maybe it gets Body Press. I can't remember. but this even gets access to stored power. It can set up and sweep over the top. Can be both ran physical or special. 127 special attack is nothing to laugh at, neither is 105 attack, which is amazing. The good thing about Necrozma is you can run max speed, max special attack, Dragon Dance, set up your speed. Full-Time Geyser will still be special because its special attack stat's going to be higher because you're running 0 attack invest. That is very good on a Pokemon, especially when you need a multi-purpose tool. So if you're only running DD for setup, that's amazing. Granted, Necrozma lost Rock Polish. It is still a bulky, massive threat with Prism Armor. Depending on what I change into, Prism Armor still interacts with Terra, which is amazing. So it cuts the damage down on super effective moves. So if I use that with a counter Terra, I'm able to set up even further. This getting access to T-Wave, Taunt, Knockoff, gets access to Rock Blast. You can run a loaded dice set. It's just amazing. It's a multifunctional toolbox, and I am incredibly glad it made it back to me and that I'm able to Terra it. I've used Necrozma without Terra before. I'm curious on what this thing can do with Terra. But anyways, that is Mon number 2. We will hop into Mon number 3. Alright, for Mon number 3, I decided, let's try something new that just came out. For 120 points, I got Petrarunt. This was incredibly hard for me to decide not to Terra this thing because I could not do this in Necrozma because of rules. You can only have one A+, B, or B+ Mon be a Terra Captain. Fortunately, Necrozma and Petrarunt are both A and B. So, Petrarunt, I'm sorry. But maybe I'll make you a captain during the season. First things first. 88 in all of its stats except for defense is absolutely monstrous. This thing chews EQ like it's nothing because of its massive 160 defense. And honestly, I can't wait to use this and see what it can do. This gets access to Parting Shot, Foul Play, gets access to its Maleficent Chain. If it poisons something in front of it, it also confuses them with Poison Puppeteer. And it's 50%, which is incredibly good. This even gets access to Shadow Ball, Nasty Plot, Substitute. Yeah, it's just a mini toolbox with limited coverage, but it's bulky as all hell. I'm kind of curious on what this Mon can actually do. And quite frankly, it's kind of adorable if you think about it. If you look closely, those are hearts for hands. And I love it. It comes out as the peach opens up and now it's got these big fuck off cannons. Yeah, I look forward to using this thing and being annoying to my opponent. The first 3 Mons on my team are just going to be incredibly hard to break. I'm not exactly the most bulky on the SPDF side, but it's fine because I can actually fix that with the upcoming Mons, even though endgame, well, foreshadowing, we'll see what happens, SPDF wise. I might just be all physical defense by the end of this draft, which is very, very weird for me. But yeah, that's Petrarunt. We'll hop on into Mon number 4. Hopefully you like it. Alright, for pick number 4 of the draft in 100 points, I decided to grab my second Terra Captain. Open Terra Regidrago. It's an abusive menace, and the fact they let this thing Terra, just, as soon as I saw that, I was like, mine. Absolutely mine, because I love this thing even without Terra. So we're going to see how abusive this thing can be. Its ability giving 50% boost to dragon moves on top of Terra Dragon is absolutely insane. Being able to actually answer steel types and fairies more easily now, beautiful. A defensive typing with Terra to be able to dragon dance and then swing over the top, beautiful. Granted, this thing's 200 HP and 50 in defenses, that's fine. I don't need to be bulky, I have that massive HP stat, and there are times where I'm just gonna run Scarf, Dragon Energy, and just swing over the top of you and not care because it becomes a nuke unless you are a steel type that resists it or immune. So, good luck with that. Bring your steel type, bring your fairy. Let's see if you can win this 1v1. That's just not me being cocky. I have been in matchups before where I have just eliminated the steel type or eliminated the fairy. Auto won with this. Or I've had matches in Sword and Shield where my opponent brought 2 steel types and a fairy, and Regidrago still blew over the top of it. Never underestimate the damage output of Specs Dragon Energy, especially when most steel types are slower than this mon. Then being able to just Terra into a steel type and auto nuke the fairy in front of me, absolutely beautiful. I look forward to using this mon. This is going to be a setup sweeper and then a breaker on its own. Can either run DD, I can run just pure Dragon Energy, or I can just do screens, explosion with Scale Shot. Okay, let's see what happens with loaded dice. Let's play this game. But anyways, that's my second Terra Captain, and we are about to hop on into round number 5. Alright, for pick number 5, I decided let's get Comfey, because I considered having this as a Terra Captain at some point. And then I realized, you know what, Necrozma's probably better, so is Regidrago, but for 80 points, Comfey's still pretty good. Access to Tailwind, Trick Room, Triage is amazing. Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, Synthesis are all Triage boosted. Unfortunately, Pain Split isn't, but that's still a nice addition to this mod. I'm kind of curious on what Comfey can do without Terra though, because just having Draining Kiss priority is incredibly good because it's faster than Extreme Speed. I think it's only outpaced by Fake Out. It's faster than Meowscarada's Sucker Punch, and I actually can do a massive hit to Meowscarada, so that can actually force that out. This thing would auto-answer Chin Pao, because it would get the more recovery back than the damage of Chen Pao would dish out. You run Big Rude with this, Draining Kiss becomes 75% health no matter what back, plus additional health. That is amazing. It might as well just be 100% of the damage you do comes back as HP. This gets access to Calm Mind, Leech Seed, gets access to quite a few things, and I believe T-Wave as well. It's either T-Wave or Stun Spore, I can't remember. I could be wrong on both, but I haven't really looked at Comfey in a while. I just wanted to try them on out. Plus, it has the most adorable shiny in the world, and you can't complain with that. This thing's shiny, Necrozma's shiny, and Regidrago's shiny are clean, and then you've got Great Tusk shiny, which is badass. Unfortunately, Petra runs shiny locked. But Comfey's here for support. I believe it also gets access to screens as well, so it could just do that, set up, get out, and I believe access to U-turn, so it has pivot. That is a very good thing for a team like this, because it works so well having Petra and Comfey being able to pivot into each other and resist each other is amazing. And I look forward to using this mon. We'll hop on into Pokemon number 6. Alright. For mod number 6, I decided let's try something new. I have actually never used Feraligatr in draft play. I believe even in BDSP. I know this thing is a sheer force monster, so it can actually do quite a bit of damage. And I believe unlike Trailblaze and Flame Charge, I believe Scale Shot still works with Feraligatr because it negates the minus defense drop, which is still pretty good. This gets access to Psychic Fangs, gets access to Ice Punch, Earthquake, Bulldoze, you name it. It's got a lot of coverage. I believe the only thing it doesn't have is a fire move, but I can double check that, especially when I go to use it in matchups. This is a new mon for me. I don't know how bulky this thing is, how hard it hits, can it take a hit, but it's got reasonable defenses, so like it's 85 and 83, which isn't bad. Or was it 95 in defense? I can't remember. I haven't looked at this thing's stats yet. But all in all, this thing still puts out a lot of damage, and I look forward to seeing what can happen if I Dragon Dance up and then hammer things in the face. Feraligatr, you are an intriguing mon to me. I believe you get Brick Break. I'd have to double check that as well, just to be able to break screens besides running Psychic Fangs. I also do not know if Psychic Fangs still break screens if you're Seer Force. I'd have to test that. So, all in all, you are a trial subject, and I look forward to using you Feraligatr. We'll hop on into mod number 7. Alright. For mod number 7 and 60 points, might as well get a fast sticky web setter that is not Rabombe. This still gets access to T-Wave, Energy Ball, gets access to Bug Buzz, Volt Switch, Discharge, Electro Ball, Agility, which can be very useful. If I don't have a ground type in my way, I Agility up and then I Electro Ball spam. Very good. Sticky Webs with its main support. I believe this gets access to Light Screen but not Reflect. All in all, Galvantula is a fun tool. It's mainly here for webs. Volt Switch even gets access to Poison Jab, which is very interesting. Struggle Bug can be useful. And then, yeah. Not a whole lot more this can do. It's very one-dimensional with what it can do. And I hate ads. But I look forward to see what Galvantula can do. Being Bug and Electric is interesting. At the time I was up with this, I was debating between Araquanid, Rabombe, Galvantula, and Vikavolt. And I decided to flip the coin, and I ended up getting this over Vikavolt. Granted, Vikavolt would have helped with my ground weakness, but in the end, what it does offer me though is speed. Speed is what I was lacking. So I look forward to seeing what this mon can do, and we will hop on into mod number 7. Alright. For mod number 8 and 40 points, might as well get my final Terra Captain. I decided let's do Bastiodon. It is a bulky boy. Gotta turn that music down because Sword Art Online is incredibly loud. We got 60 HP, 52 attack, a monstrous 168 defense stat. You've got 47 special attack, 138 spadef, and 30 speed. This could be used in Trick Room as well as just an offensive take, because this gets access to Iron Defense and Body Press, this gets access to Foul Play, and this gets access to Metal Burst. Metal Burst is an attacking move, so it cannot be taunted. Because I am so slow, I can chew a hit and I can blow it right back to you. This thing being Open Terra, Metal Burst can be a resisted hit depending on what I Terra into, and do 1.5 damage back to my opponent, which is incredibly good. After one iron defense, this thing is doing damage like 50% to some fairies, which is actually mind-boggling. Slap an AV on this thing and just let it spam, and it's a goddamn tank. Bastiodon looks like a very fun mod. Granted, it's incredibly heavy. Grass Knot kind of just claps its cheeks. Actually, no. I'm surprised. This thing's only 329 pounds. It's not heavy at all. It's a tiny little thing. Guess it's most of its side is its freaking castle shield. Alright. But now that this thing gets access to foul play, it can hit like psychic types now or physical attackers pretty well, do a lot of damage to them. Gets access to Iron Head. Gets access to Avalanche, which is incredibly good for dragon types. And even access to a move like Trailblaze. It can also run Rock Blasts. It gets access to Stealth Rocks. Gets access to Earth Power, Earthquake. Gets access to Thunder, Meteor Beam, Metal Sound. Even gets access to Curse. That is amazing. So I'm able to raise my attack, my defense, and lower my speed. Sign me up. I'll take it. But yeah, that is Bastiodon, and I look forward to using this thing. And let's hop on into Mon number 9. Alright, for Mon number 9, funnily enough, I grabbed Moltres. But at this point in the draft, I had enough points left over to do Ninetales Venusaur if I wanted to, and just flip the script and do Sun. I decided not to, because I wanted to give Moltres a try. I also had the points to be able to do this one or Galar Moltres, but I decided let's do the fire one instead. I don't necessarily need a dark type on this team. So, yeah, Moltres is definitely interesting. Access to Scorching Sands back is beautiful. Will-O-Wisp, Roost, U-Turn. Problem is, it's times 4 weak to rocks, so I will have to use heavy-duty boots if I bring this, especially against a hazard-heavy team. That is the only downfall of Moltres. And that's why I also considered doing Galar Moltres instead. Because it's only 25% from rocks. This takes 50. This gets access to Weather Ball, gets access to U-Turn, Flamethrower, Scorching Sands, Air Slash, and Hurricane. So I could take advantage of the weather matchups. Granted, this was also a consideration for Terra. I decided let's not, because it kind of is a heavily restricted Terra. And the only reason I would if I wanted Terra Grass or Terra Water, and for obvious reasons, because the only water move this thing gets is is Rain Dance, and the only grass move it gets is Solar Beam, if it still gets it. I wish this Mon would not have lost Burn Up. Burn Up was an amazing move on this Mon, because it would remove the fire typing, leaving me a pure flying type. So if I roosted, I would become a typeless Pokemon, being a neutral hit to everything that swings into me in the past gens. But Moltres is still a good Mon. Bulky as all hell, gives me a slight Spadef and defensive Mon, and I can just roost off damage. That's amazing. I'll take it. But that's Moltres. We'll hop on into the final Mon of the draft. Alright, for the final pick of the draft, I decided let's grab something fun. Chinchino, everybody, the Tidy Up Special. This thing gets access to Technician loaded dice now with combinations of Rock Blast, Tail Slap, Triple Axle, Bullet Seed is just amazing. This even gets access to Knockoff, Play Rough, it's access to Super Fang, which is all incredibly good. And I can't remember. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. This gets access to special moves as well. Grass Knot, Thunderbolt, a few other, like, Hyper Voice or Hyper Beam from this thing with a Life Orb are actually very, very hard hitting. It can be surprising to an opponent if somehow this thing just rolls up with the special attack instead of Tidy Up, which they prepare for. Now all of a sudden, boom, blown back by Thunderbolt. It is hilarious. Bring this to a rain matchup, spam Thunder. I will be dying. But yeah, this thing's main role here is for Tidy Up to remove hazards. It can't run King's Rock in this league, so Skill Link is less viable than Technician in some cases. If I need all 5 hits, I will run it and run a Life Orb, Skill Link, or run Technician loaded dice for additional damage. All in all, the team ahead of you, in front of you, isn't exactly the bulkiest thing in the world, SpDef wise, but physical wise, it's absolutely amazing. I look forward to seeing what this team can do, and it's just here to just be a meme show, cause havoc, and get some wins. So, win or lose, I'm going to have fun. LET, let's see what I can cook every week. But tell me what you think of the team down below. Like and subscribe if you haven't. And next week, tune in for when we face God Bear, coach of the Chicago Phalanx. He's a very, very good friend of mine. And you guys enjoy your day. And I will catch you guys later. Peace.